Michigan medical marijuana dispensaries are under attack right now. Starting last week, Tuesday, August 23rd, there was a county court ruling judging that if a cannabis dispensary is viewed as a public nuisance, that the Public Nuisance Act of Michigan state law could be applied, and those ordinances or businesses, collectives, may be shut down. Also, last week, the Michigan Court of Appeals ruled that medical marijuana cannot be sold through private shops, in effect saying that the 2008 law and state public health code does not allow people to sell pot to each other even if they have state licensed medical marijuana cards. Now, these two rulings combined created a police raiding frenzy this week, all the way through Friday, and most all clubs in Lansing, a few clubs in Ann Arbor, clubs in Detroit, I know 5 clubs specifically under the Big Brothers management system, dispensary system, were shut down, raided. No arrests were made, but in all cases, all the medicine, everything in the shops was confiscated. And we had patients calling in, wondering where the meds was, terminally ill people not able to medicate. We had panic, confusion, a terrible time for the medical marijuana industry this week in Michigan. Now, following this weekend, through this weekend, the marijuana ruling has only added to the confusion. Cannabis Culture writes, Ann Arbor. The Ann Arbor medical dispensaries, none of them have opened Monday. Not one. They all remain shut down. And this is the case in Lansing, clear through to Grand Rapids and West Michigan. They are shut down in fear of being raided right now, and law enforcement officers are taking advantage of this climate. The only dispensary I know right now that's open in Ann Arbor is Herbal Solutions on 124th West Michigan, and they are a non-profit, but they do accept donations in exchange for medical marijuana. But the Third Coast Compassion Center, Green Bee Collective, OM, Medicine, all shut down, fearing law enforcement prosecution after these new court rulings in Michigan. Now, this other article, the West Michigan officials target medical marijuana dispensaries after court rules they are illegal. This is coming off Cannabis Culture. This article explains the police climate between the political elite, the law enforcement officers, the people, and the patients in Michigan. And pretty much in a nutshell, in the Grand Rapids area for sure, at least Lieutenant Greg Perloni writes from the Kent Area Narcotics Team that they have always felt that the dispensaries were illegal and were in the wrong. He says, quote, "We were always under the belief that dispensaries did not fall under the guidelines of the law, but we really weren't able to do anything to shut them down," he says. Quote, "I guess for 2 years we've been waiting for some kind of decisive ruling to come down and give us some direction." Well, guys, the ruling has been made. And unless we, as patients, people, citizens of Michigan, pull together and reassert and restate our position on cannabis and whether we think the dispensary system should be allowed under our Cannabis Act or not, has yet to be determined. So the call to action is definitely here right now. This is the moment. This is the crossing point. This is the tipping point in Michigan for our dispensary system. The police officers in this article say that they're not exactly taking full-on force, but they are contacting dispensary owners and writing them and calling them and letting them know, hey, if you open up, we're probably going to raid you. And they're just using this court ruling now and this precedent set last week by all the dispensaries that were raided to silently remove the dispensary system as quickly as it was established. So right now, we really need to stand up for our rights, assert our rights, and let our voices be heard. 3 legalization initiatives going on in Oregon right now. That's right. This is an exciting news story. This one is from Cannabis Culture as well, and that is 3 marijuana legalization initiatives in Oregon. Pretty much Oregon right now, they have 3 initiatives to legal cannabis on the November 2012 ballot. One of them is 20 years old, and that is the OCTA, the Oregon Cannabis Tax Act of 2012 now, and that's from Paul Stanford. That one's been running for a while now. And the second act is a constitutional amendment, and I do believe this is, constitutional amendment offered by or sponsored rather by the Oregon Marijuana Policy Initiative, OMPI, and this is a constitutional amendment. I'll start with that one first. This is initiative position number 24 to repeal the state's marijuana laws, and what this would do would be removes all criminal offenses, and it says, quote, neither criminal offenses and or sanctions nor the laws of civil seizure or forfeiture of the state shall apply to private personal use, possession, or production of marijuana by adults 21 years of age or older. So what the Oregon Marijuana Policy Initiative would do this November is add an amendment to the Oregon State Constitution saying that the right to penalize or to take away cannabis from an adult who is over 21 shall not be infringed upon. So it pretty much gives Oregonians, if that's their term, a constitutional right to cannabis and cannabis use. Now the second amendment I'm going to cover is Paul Schaefer's Oregon Cannabis Tax Act of 2011. This is initiative number 9, and this would allow Oregon farmers to grow hemp, and it would also license Oregon farmers to grow marijuana to be sold at state licensed dispensaries. So it allows for a dispensary service and the cannabis to be taxed and regulated, kind of like Prop 19. Now the third initiative coming out of Oregon right now is from Sensible Oregon and Oregon NORML. They're working together, and this is the, what is this one called? Let me do it. It's just a ballot initiative. I guess there's just not really a name in the article for the ballot initiative. But, oh, never mind. Excuse me, let me reword this, not to confuse anybody. It's called the Sensible Oregon Initiative, sponsored by Sensible Oregon and Oregon NORML. So the Sensible Oregon Initiative will, quote, remove existing civil and criminal penalties for adults 21 years of age who cultivate, possess, transport, exchange, or use marijuana, and will require the legislator to come up with a regulatory scheme. And in closing, the amendment would, or the amendment would need 114,000 signatures. The tax and regulate would need 130,000 signatures. And this this ballot initiative from Sensible Oregon would only need 1,000 to get onto the ballot. Excuse me, I should have brought something to drink outside with me today, outside the little studio. So yeah, that is great news, absolutely fantastic news. Oregon, 3 chances to legalize marijuana, 2012. That's excellent. Sorry about that, guys. There was just no way I was going to keep being able to talk. I had severe dry mouth. My last story for today, or second to last story, is imitation marijuana, building inspections on agenda. And pretty much this is the article from DelmarVanNow.com, the Daily Times, no clue, actually, to tell you the truth. Pretty much Ocean City, and I don't even know what state this is coming out of, but this is just the city in the article, is banning K2 or spice. And that's just one example here. The reason I bring this article up is because I want to talk about K2 a little bit today in my news segment. I know in Indiana and in parts of Michigan, K2 spice and the imitation cannabis has been banned, and I think for better than for not. This December, the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, declared an emergency powers ban on several chemicals that are listed ingredients in K2 and spice and other alternative imitation marijuana blends and drinks, and that ban went into effect this March. So the DEA does have a full-scale ban on synthetic cannabinoids in the states here. what that means is that local cities or municipalities who have been having a problem trying to ban spice now have the federal support, and they could use that simply to say, hey, quit selling spice or we're going to call the DEA, and that's in the basic sense. Now, what most counties, municipalities been doing is writing letters to retailers. When that hasn't worked, they've passed local city ordinances, and a lot of times with pines, beautiful pines, with fines and penalties, misdemeanors similar to that of cannabis possession. And my personal opinion on this is that's great. I think that the synthetic cannabis substances out there should be illegal, if not regulated, because they're completely under the market right now and completely underneath the FDA's regulatory power. And I've smoked them, I've tried them. They do get you high. It's like all the cannabinoid buzz without the THC buzz, without the mental kick. So, I mean, it does work, and they do full drug tests, although drug test manufacturers have now come up with drug testing ways to check for the synthetics. Because if you're going to make it illegal, obviously you need to be able to test for it, which is a whole nother video on that alone. But the synthetics, sometimes they're inconsistent. Sometimes people do go to the hospital over them, and kids can't buy them. There's no age limit, although most gas stations have an 18-year-old limit, or head shops. I think this is good. I think more counties need to prohibit the K2 and the spice, because it also gives marijuana a bad name. Whereas marijuana, there is zero side effects and it doesn't harm anybody. These synthetic substances have been harming people in a few cases, and they should be banned. So that leads me then to my last story of the day, and then I'm going to recap on Michigan, and that is bongs to be banned in Victoria, Canada. And we've all seen Canada since the fall of Mark Emery. There's really been a push and a charge for the conservative government under Stephen Parker. They've been building prisons, and they're really trying to get this drug law reformed and really reverse all the advances that the Cannabis Party and cannabis officials in Canada have been able to push through as far as legislation is concerned. And so this is bongs to be banned in Victoria, and pretty much they are banning all bongs and charging shops up to a $1,500 fine, $1,465 fine Canadian, for the sale of a bong. And even if the bong says it's for tobacco use only, if it still fits the description of a bong classified under this new law, that will be illegal to sell. So get that straight. Just because you say it's a tobacco water pipe, they say it's a bong, they're going to win if this law well, presumably has been already passed. So pretty much Canadian officials saying that it's time to quit encouraging cannabis use by allowing the sale of cannabis paraphernalia. So they're going to go ahead. Woodridge here says he's going to go ahead and ban sale of all bongs. So starting next year, 2012, no bongs. Again, I just want to bring you guys an update on the Michigan medical marijuana dispensary system. I'll have links to these articles in the description. This has been a CRN news update, and I guess I'm putting it out there right now, guys. I don't know what to do. This is a call to action. We all just need to congregate, get together, discuss our plan going forward, and then make that plan known, readily available, and pass that plan around to everyone, get everyone on this same page here, and get some political change happening again, because these court rulings are really putting Michigan under right now. And like I've said before, if you guys are from another medical marijuana state and you have an interest in Michigan, family, friends, anything out here, business interest, come on down. Your card's recognized. We practice repticity in our medical marijuana system, so your card is recognized from any other medical marijuana state in the union here. So we definitely need your help, guys. And that's it for my news updates today. August 30th, 2011, Cannabis News TV, CRN News Update, Cannabis News Network. All right here, all Stony, all the time. And subscribe, stay tuned. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Peace.